All right, we got to talk about Intel because they are planning to sell one of their biggest campuses in their entire arsenal. This is their Folsom, California campus, 150 acres. And yes, Intel is one of those companies right now that's struggling massively. And companies are experiencing financial difficulties. It's really hard for a company like Intel, for example, to increase their sales. So what do to make earnings more attractive? Shutting down offices, firing employees, and no more free coffee, no more free snacks. And that way Intel's going to save a little bit more money. And next quarter when earnings comes out, it's going to look a lot better, even though the revenue and the amount of sales they're doing is crap. The company is already starting to consolidate many of its prime real estate locations. They're starting to feel that having so much real estate on the market is absolutely dangerous. And I do fully agree. Right now, Intel is laying off another 17,000 employees after laying off 20,000 earlier this year. Now, stock price recently for Intel has been doing okay, but being at the low 20s is like the late 90s price. Intel's stock price is still terrible. Look at the stock price right now. It's around like 1997 prices. It's pretty bad. This is one of the worst semiconductor companies that you could possibly buy. And right now, competition is way ahead of Intel. There's already a potential financial storm. South Korea is experiencing a decline in chip exports. Intel may be kind of screwed as we're staying in this high interest rate environment. And right now, the morale in Intel is just terrible. If you look at a lot of the posts on Reddit, if you look at what many of the people are saying, a lot of them are really scared. Going to work is pretty miserable, and you never know when you're going to be fired from Intel. They've already fired like almost a fifth of their entire workforce, guys. And of course, people are very nervous. Whole entire campuses are now being completely sold. And after these cost-cutting measures and thousands of layoffs, Intel is actually reintroducing free tea and coffee to boost the employees' morale. Now, the company had recently cut this because they're losing money after the previous earnings report. But now they're bringing this back because all the employees are just so sad. And especially it's a holiday season, morale's at a record low. This isn't really that great for a semiconductor company. And thus, they're bringing back some free drinks. But I doubt that bringing back free drinks will actually bring back job stability at Intel. And here you go. Intel is also reducing several of their biggest real estate holdings. Blame it at Intel because so far their chip tech is just not on par. Also, you could also blame the feds if you want, because we're at a high interest rate environment for almost 3 freaking years. We're at like super high interest rates. And the Fed may not even cut interest rates in December because they say the economy is good. Even though, in my personal opinion, with higher unemployment right now, the economy is pretty poor and many Americans are more frugal than ever. And I wouldn't be surprised if Americans right now have record low Black Friday sales. Intel also starts reducing their European headquarters. They've had this building for like 40 years. Almost half a century they've stayed here. And now they're selling this massive campus. So it's like a 13-acre campus, 200,000 square foot of office space. They want to sell it. And they want to just sell it, save some money, and just simply dip out of here. Wolfspeed is another semiconductor company, cuts 20% of its jobs, but they're still hiring some people, but very few amounts of people. There's a lot of things people get wrong with these layoffs articles. People feel like, Intel's hiring people, Nvidia's hiring people, AMD's hiring people. What's the problem here? Sure, these companies are hiring people, but you gotta know they just laid off like a fifth of the workforce. Okay, it's not gonna replenish the remaining like 19% of people who lost their jobs. You look at AMD, same thing. They lost 4 to 5% of the workforce. They're still hiring people, but only a few selected individuals are going to get into the AMD family. Most of them are being fired. This layoff spree that we're seeing with a lot of these tech companies is getting really worrisome because we're kind of in a high interest rate environment. We could be seeing a massive tariff war with China, and it's just not looking so great. A lot of Americans right now are saving money. Americans aren't buying cars. Americans are not buying homes either. People feel like there could be a massive financial storm brewing right now. So get ready for 2025, guys.